Good evening, everyone. Let's go ahead and call the school board meeting to order at 6:01 p.m. If I can go ahead and call order, starting from my right. Board member?
Jessica Ochoa, present.
Carlos Margo, present.
Anita Chavez, present.
Alisa Peña, present.
Rosalba Hernandez, present.
Celso Gomez Jr., present.
We have everyone here. We have quorum. We can go ahead and proceed. If everyone could please stand so we can go ahead and do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Next item on the agenda is public comment. Madam Secretary, do we have any public comments today?
Yes, we have two today.
Okay, if you can go ahead and call them up. And again, for those that will be providing public comments, a reminder that you do have 3 minutes. My Vice President will inform you when your 3 minutes are up. Thank you very much.
If we can please have Carlos Presas to the podium, please.
Good evening, members of the board. I would like to speak about reconsidering the athletic trainer stipend and pay. Please don't defer our pay. Stipend increase is not in line with our position. Last year, coaches received a $250 increase in stipend per sport. A coach could, and several did, work up to 3 sports during that school year, netting them about a $750 rate or increase. The trainers only got $250 for the entire year. This year, stipends were adjusted again for lower level coaches, but not the ATs, athletic trainers. Head coaches received an increase of around $1,000 or more per sport. At several of our high schools, head coaches actually head coach more than one sport, giving them an adjustment twice during the year. Once again, the athletic trainers get nothing. All hours worked being equal, if the board sees that the position of a head coach to be more encompassing than that of a sub-varsity coach, please consider, other than the duties of a coordinator at the high schools, a trainer worked with all levels of a sport, all genders of a sport, at the same time. Example, a volleyball coach does not coach football on the same day. A track coach does not also coach a soccer girl and then cover a baseball game. Athletic trainers do. We focus on in-season sports first, but at the same time, we deal with off-season sports because they still have athletic periods and can call on us if injured. We do have interactions with parents, doctors. We deal with insurance, both with claims and with the insurance company. We deal with UIL paperwork. In contrast, a sub-varsity coach does interact with parents, but then if things get harder, they defer to their head coach. We have to go to either our coordinator or athletic director. We also try to promote our own profession with our student helpers. We teach them when we can, either during the athletic period or after school. We teach them first aid, CPR, splinting. We do field trips to a workshop to help promote our profession and help them meet other students. And then we also fundraise. That just shows our involvement. We are not just athletic trainers. We do things like coaches or like teachers. So we also have daily student monitoring duties like any other coach. All this, and we encourage any middle school athlete to be brought to us to be seen and cared for or give directions to the coach. How many high school head coaches deal with their middle schools anytime they need to be called upon? They usually schedule
Excuse
it.
me, sir, but your 3 minutes have expired.
Thank you
for
very
your
much.
comment.
Thank you for your comment, sir. Next speaker, Madam Secretary.
Maria Thompson, if you can make your way to the podium, please.
Good evening, board, superintendent. I'm continuing with we're tag teaming. We work with all teams, all sports, male, female, middle school, where sometimes your high school coaches, they're supposed to go to the middle school and sometimes they may not, to help see what everybody is doing in conjunction to their plan. We deal with the parents of the middle school, we deal with the athletes, all that we take care of. And we feel like that wasn't considered when all this was approved. In years past, we have duties to cover certain sports at the middle school level, which is fine. We cover cross country. We cover middle school track meets, and we also cover middle school baseball and softball tournaments, because we're also trying to cover our primary sports at the high school level. Since we do not have any middle school athletic trainers, we're having to cover for that as well as best we can. These reasons given above between Carlos and myself is why we believe we should revisit the athletic trainer stipend and pay. You are messing with our livelihood. My husband died a year and 4 months ago, and it feels like I'm losing him all over again, because I'm probably going to have to sell my house because of this decrease in pay that you all are giving us. Thank you.
Thank you for your remarks. Secretary Pena, do we have any others?
No more speakers.
No more other speakers. Thank you to those who provided comments today. Our next item on the agenda is agenda item number 5, Superintendent's Report. First one we will be discussing is 5.1, Human Capital and Staffing Updates. Dr. Sorensen.
I'd like Ms. Jamie Miller to come to the podium to please update the board on current state around human capital and staffing as we approach the 2024-2025 school year. Ms. Miller.
Thank you, Blanca.
Good evening, President Alvarez, members of the board, and Dr. Sorensen. I am Jamie Miller, the proud Chief of Talent Development and Human Capital. And tonight we're going to talk about our job fair and staffing for the 24-25 school year. But first we're going to start with the why. Why did we need to have a job fair in La Jolla ISD? Well, like in any district, we have attrition. We have teachers who retire, we have staff that resign, and we have staff that is moved. They take advanced positions. So we did have critical roles that we needed to fill. So we decided to have a paraprofessional and auxiliary job fair, as well as a professional job fair. And these occurred on July 24th and July 25th. Sorry, I went too far. So what was the goal of our job fair? We wanted to recruit members of our community to fill auxiliary, paraprofessional, and professional vacancies. And we helped remove barriers for people in our community, because as they walked in, we helped them to apply in Talent Ed so that they could be hired in La Jolla. So let's talk about numbers. In paraprofessionals, on the 24th, we had 76 attendees. We gave 31 letters of intent, which leaves us with 30 vacancies in those areas. This is custodians. They may work in our cafeteria, and paraprofessionals. So we hired 31 in this event. In our professionals, we had 96 people attend. We gave 20 letters of intent, and we have about 20 positions still available. Now, these are not all teaching positions. This may be a counselor, a nurse, or a librarian. So we had a very successful job fair, and I'm very proud of the human capital team, as well as the departments. As they came, they interviewed, and they found members to fill their vacancies. So let's look at some pictures. Sorry, I can't get it to move. If you look, you're going to see that when you walk in the middle, we had computers. We had people there to help, because many of our applicants did not apply online. We checked to see where they were qualified for. If you're a teacher, where are you certified? And then we help them go to the different stations, get them interviewed, and then help them in the process of onboarding afterwards. I am very proud to say that La Jolla ISD is going to keep our excellence in our classrooms because we had a wonderful job fair and we're filling vacancies. And I appreciate the board supporting human capital and our departments in doing this. Do you have any questions?
No, any questions for Ms. Miller?
Yes, Ms. Miller, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
How long, for those that came in and applied, how long will we keep their resume on file? And then would they be considered for other positions, assuming they?
Yes, ma'am. So once they apply, you're in the system and you can apply for any position. And all of our departments, as well as our principals and our campuses, have access to Talent Ed, can pull that information and they can interview at any time. We want our positions filled, so we're going to keep interviewing throughout the school year.
Awesome, thank you.
Any other comments or questions for Ms. Miller? So I saw the news coverage in both English and Spanish, so congratulations to both of you all. You did great, and your staff for putting that together.
Thank you.
Great coverage.
It was a wonderful experience.
was.
I'm very proud of La Jolla for how it turned out.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Next item on the agenda, since we have nothing else to cover with Ms. Miller in that particular agenda, the following is 5.2 Welcome Back Week, Teachers and Staff. Presenter Derek Little. Derek, nice to see you again.
Good to see you, President Alvarez. Good evening, board and superintendent. Happy to share a brief update about what we're going to be doing next week, the last week before students return for the school year. I will say it sort of kicked off today. We had a really exciting day with our principals and assistant principals kicking off a 2-day leadership academy. Thank you, Mr. President, for joining part of that. And they're really getting ready for next week when teachers and the rest of staff return. The real thing to know about this is it tries to strike a balance for everybody. So we're giving principals time to engage with their teachers and teams to prepare for the start of school, to make sure that they're ready academically and instructionally, but they also know processes and routines at the campus. That's a big part of what's happening on Wednesday and Thursday. We're also making sure teachers are prepared with their new high-quality instructional materials and curriculum and getting the support directly from the district and our vendor partners. That's a big focus of what's happening on Tuesday. And what teachers always appreciate, sometimes the most, is what's happening on Monday and Friday. And that's time just to prepare, get their room ready, make sure that they've got all of their materials ready to welcome their students in on the first day. So everybody's getting time to take care of the things that really matter to make sure that we have a strong first day of school. The other thing which my colleague Chief Gomez Perez is going to come talk about next is our back to school centennial nights. Those are also happening next week. We're really excited to have that experience for our staff, our family, and our communities as well. But folks are going to come back to excitement, to energy, to clear focus, and the support to be successful and to continue to achieve excellence in La Jolla.
Anyone have any questions for Dr. Little? Any comments? I have one. So I was able to attend this morning. And so as I walked in, Dr. Sorensen was doing her speech. And let me tell you, I was so motivated. Like I was thrown off, like what could I add to the conversation that she had with you all? So thank you. And I appreciate the fact that she used a quote from Mr. Munoz. Mr. Munoz, what we learned during the training that we had the retreat. I really appreciate all of those who attended that retreat. Many of the audience weren't aware of that, but for those that did go, I was very resourceful and it was very educational for all of us. So I'm glad to see that your quote was actually referenced by Dr. Sorensen during the event. And then I have one more thing. Are you going to be wearing bow ties on Wednesday? Are we going to call this Bow Tie Wednesday from now on? Or
we can definitely.
We did that in
a
Austin,
thing.
so I'm just letting you know.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
I can give bow tie lessons if we need it.
Thank you, Dr. Little. Anyone have any questions or remarks?
Dr. Little, what are the centennial nights? What did that consist
You're going to hear
of?
about that in the next agenda item.
Okay.
Yes, so I'm glad you said that. So our next item is agenda 5.3, Back to School Centennial Style, Celebrating Centennial of Learning Excellence. Our presenter, Ms. Claudia Gomez Perez.
Good evening, board. members of the board, Mr. President Alvarez, Dr. Sorensen, and our community that's watching us. So this evening, I get to talk about the reason why we are all here. And so we are looking at our back to school event for our students and our families. So we looked at some of the processes, some of the things that we had in the past. We used to do our back to school bash, registration, meet the teacher. And so in order for us to look at those things and strengthen the bonds that we have between our students, our families, and our schools, we wanted to look at how do we streamline those processes that we have, and then how do we get our families into our schools and do this with more efficiency, and then making sure that we're building those bonds with them. So we looked at our back to school centennial style night. We are starting our 100-year celebration this school year, and so we want to make sure that we start celebrating those 100 years, and every school bringing in whatever it is that they have, how they are going to showcase what they have at their schools. And so we looked at those nights, and so we will have our middle schools, high schools, and elementary schools at each and at every different night. And so during that event, our schools are going to look at our families coming into their schools and looking at what is it that we are all about, and making themselves out, putting themselves out there in the brand that they're going to have for the entire school year. So during the event, what parents and our students can expect is they're going to come into our schools and they're going to meet campus administrators, our counselors, they're going to get to meet their teachers. But for a lot of our students, they're going to be able to pick up their schedules on that day and have those conversations with their counselors and administrators if they're wanting to or needing to make any of those schedule changes during that time. So the parents are also going to have information about transportation, what are their bus routes, their zones, and fill out those forms that they're going to be needing in order for them to be riding the buses, and any other questions they may have. We are going to also have the information for any new students to our district and the online enrollment that we have. So new to our districts, any students that we have new to the district, they're going to be able to register at that time. And so we're putting out the communication as what are the documents that they need to bring in when they're doing that. Some of our parents are bringing in their pre-K 3s for 3-year-olds, right, for the first time. And so we want them to come into the building and see their classrooms, meet their teachers, what is their class day is going to look like, so parents are more at ease letting their babies go to school. And so that's going to be the same thing that we are going to have for all of our grade levels. And so we incorporated or streamlined our registration and all of that into one day so that the parents can have a big party and they're able to showcase everything that they have at the campus. We also had, as a district, 1,500 backpacks that we were able to distribute. And so we distributed those a lot with our elementary schools, and each of them got a certain number of backpacks depending on the enrollment that they have at their schools. And so we're hoping that this is going to be the kickoff to our 100 years of learning. And so with the schools showcasing everything that they're about and starting to strengthen those bonds with the families out there. So, questions?
Thank you, Ms. Bettis. That was a great presentation. Does anyone have any questions for Ms. Bettis?
Ms. Bettis, can you tell me a little bit more about what avenues are being used to let the community know about back to school and
Okay, so avenues, we are looking at using our social media outlets. We've had Facebook postings. We've also done Instagram postings that I've seen. We sent out the information to the schools. And so this flyer that you see, we emailed it to them so that they can be posting on all of their social media outlets as well.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Blanca, did we do texts? Can you talk more about communications from the communication standpoint? Thank you.
Yes, so we will do outreach with text messages, we will do call outs, we'll do emails to all of the parents, and we're able to do that through our system. We will be able to communicate frequently through all our social media platforms and all the communication systems that the campuses have to communicate with parents. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Just to clarify, Blanca, does that mean you did it already or you plan on doing it?
We've done some already, and then we're going to go on our second round. Yes.
Okay, because this is next week, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay, thank you.
So Blanca's going to be busy for the next couple of days, right? Ms. Bettis, we really appreciate what you're doing for our students. And if any of our board members, I'm assuming it'd be okay with you, Ms. Bettis, if we could go and maybe join you, maybe go out there for a visit if we're in the area. I think it'd be warranted for us to go out there and at least say hello. Great. Thank you. Yes, please encourage us. Let us know how we can be of any service or value to you. Any other comments? Seeing that we have none, let's move to the next agenda item, which is Elevating Excellence. And that presentation will be done by Dr. Sorensen.
Thank you, President Alvarez and the board. So I have the clicker, right? Or are you driving for me?
I can try.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. So as we enter into the 2024-2025 school year, we ended last year talking a lot about moving into this year with some very clear district priorities, knowing that there wasn't enough time in order to create a long-term strategic plan. Our goal for this year is to continue to deeply engage with the community, deeply engage with our faculty, staff, teachers, parents, students, at a very deep level throughout this year so that we end this year, enter into the 25-26 year and beyond with a long-term strategic plan. But we wanted to make sure to go into the 24-25 school year with district priorities based upon all of the feedback that we had heard from the community, broad community, stakeholders, employees, parents, students, going into teachers, principals, everyone last year during the 5 months that I was on site. So I wanted to roll these out, and we shared them with principals, assistant principals, district leaders today. And so we are excited, very, very excited to share these with the community at large. They will also be shared during convocation. They will be shared next week as principals share these with their faculty and staff, because these are district priorities across the district. I want to be really clear that these are not just central office. Although there are central office specific actions, these should live and breathe throughout the district. And so I really, really, really want, can you tell, really, 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 want everybody to understand that these are the fabric of who we are at La Jolla ISD as we live and breathe educational excellence, the right of every student here in La Jolla ISD. So the district priorities, and here is an overview, and I won't read it to everybody, but it truly just leans into that this is the 100th anniversary of La Jolla ISD, and that we are just getting started on our work, that we are just getting started moving forward, and that the legacy of excellence already exists here, and that we are elevating excellence. Excellence already lives and breathes here in La Jolla ISD, and that our work and our goals are nothing more than to continue to elevate the excellence that already exists here in La Jolla ISD. So our first priority across the district is customer service. As we think about all that we heard last year, one of the prevailing themes over and over and over was that our constituency across the district did not feel heard, did not feel seen, did not feel cared for. And so we are very excited. We are renewed to restore a customer service-oriented culture that puts our students and our stakeholders at the center of our work. We are committed to excellence. We are putting our customer service hat on every single day as we serve our community. And so there are some very specific actions here around ongoing training and support for district employees so that we have clear expectations for service delivery, create clearly to our families so that everyone knows who to communicate with, who they should talk to, who they can deeply trust when it comes to communication from central office. We commit ourselves to committing to administering customer service surveys and making the survey data public on how we're doing on this factor right here. Are we meeting the goal of customer service to our constituents across the district? And lastly, because we got a lot of feedback from the employees in the Division of Operations and Infrastructure, they will administer their own survey twice a year to their employees on employee satisfaction. And so while these are very specific district actions, our campuses will also be required to lean into customer service and how they treat families, community, our students, their employees. How do they embody customer service every single day, knowing that we are living the legacy of excellence? We are embodying excellence every single day here in La Jolla ISD. Priority 2 is trust and transparency. We are excited to rebuild trust and transparency through ongoing listening, sharing of information, and authentic stakeholder engagement. This is just a continuation of the work that we did in the past couple of months. And so again, without reading these all to you, we will continue to deeply engage across the community. Some very specific actions is creating a communications plan. Another action is to create a district-wide parent engagement plan. We will continue to host town halls. We're going to have superintendent advisory councils. But most importantly, we're going to end the year, moving into next year, with a long-term strategic plan. But again, asking our campuses, how are they increasing trust and transparency with those that they work with and those that they serve at the campus level? Priority 3 is high quality instruction. Commit to evidence-based instructional practices across all grade levels to ensure all students, every single student engages with rigorous daily content, learning experiences, and work-based learning opportunities that prepare them for college, career, and military readiness and fulfilling lives. That's what we're here to do every single day. And so again, redesigning our dual language program, high quality instructional materials, daily quality instruction, moving beyond STAR Prep. Heard a lot of feedback around how much STAR Prep our kids were getting and not the daily instruction. So we're gonna lean into high quality instruction, and we're gonna elevate professional learning that our teachers want to attend and engage in by, again, creating meaningful learning spaces for them to learn on their campus and creating leadership teams where they have voice on their campus. Priority 4, lifting up leadership. We know that our campus leaders, principals, assistant principals are very important in creating this culture of learning. So again, making sure that everybody across the district, we received a lot of feedback last year about trusting the process of teacher evaluation, trusting the process of principal evaluation. And so we are going to, again, lift that up, making sure everybody is trained, everybody is certified in order to make it transparent, make it trustful, make it safe for everyone to lean into being the very best teacher, the very best leader that they can be. We are also going to leverage our new division of school leadership and academics to support. It is not just about accountability through evaluation, but it is about support and how we support our educators, how we support our principals in order to continue to maintain a standard of excellence. And we're also going to look to grow leaders. We want that next bench of assistant principals, that next bench of principals by developing teacher leaders and that next bench of principals. And lastly, priority 5, integrity and accountability. We're going to continue to develop systems and structures to ensure fiscal transparency, financial responsibility, and compliance with legal policies that increase district accountability. We are accountable to you. The district is accountable to you. And so we will conduct the audit that we launched a while ago and never leaned into, but we are going to do that within the first semester. Now that I am so grateful to have the Chief of Business, Finance, and Administrative Services on board, we are going to provide continuous updates to the public on the financial status of the district throughout the year to continue the financial transparency that we engaged in all last semester. We are going to realign the calendar for district budgeting processes, and we are also going to conduct an external audit of special education, as I talked about last semester. So these are just some of the actions that we are going to commit ourselves to throughout the year. We are going to talk about these at board meetings. We're going to talk about these publicly as we go throughout the year. And we're going to hold ourselves accountable to these things because these are just a tip of the iceberg of things that we were asked to fix, to work on as a district. On top of that, we're going to continue to engage so that the community, big C community, teachers, parents, students, all of our employees are a part of creating a longer-term plan, a vision for the future that continues to build on the legacy of excellence, again, that already exists here in La Jolla ISD. And so I am very honored, I am very excited to launch these priorities in partnership with the board, in partnership with the community, but most importantly, in partnership with each of you as we do this work together, again, to really fulfill the mission of this district and really continue to fulfill the legacy of excellence. Thank you. Any questions?
Any questions for Dr. Sorensen? Dr. Sorensen, thank you for laying out the 5 priorities in your vision, so thank you for that. Next item on the agenda for number 5 will be by Joseph. Announcement of district leadership. Joseph?
Yes. Good evening. Board President Alvarez, members of the board, Dr. Sorensen, La Jolla ISD community. It is, if we're going to be a district that's laser focused on student outcomes and elevating excellence, then we need the talent to do the work. And it's my privilege, and I'm absolutely thrilled to announce team members who are in new roles. As I go through, I'll share slide by slide, so save your applause for the end of each slide, but I know several folks who I'm going to announce are in the audience, so if you are in the audience, please stand. We'll start with our new Deputy Chief of School Leadership, Ms. Tamara Albury, and our Executive Director of Special Education and Specialized Support, Dr. Brenda Arteaga. Our new Executive Director of Instructional Improvement and High Quality Instructional Materials Implementation, Ms. Marta Castillo, and our Executive Director of Compliance and Talent Management, Ms. Gloria Rodriguez. Our new Director of Operations and Campus Maintenance, Reynaldo Cedillo, and our new Director of Transportation, Jose Luz Alariz. Next, I'm going to announce a round of coordinators. The first 3 coordinators I'm going to announce are a new position, positions new to the district. So our Academic Advancement Coordinator is Deborah Grund-Harris. Early Learning Coordinators are Kathy Polito and Raquel Montavo. Our Health and Physical Education Coordinator is Norberta Garza. And then our Literacy Coordinators are Claudia Munoz, Elsa Cantu, and Armandina Garcia Thomas. Math Coordinators are Alfonso Rodriguez, Luz Munoz Ramirez, Christina Saldana. Our Science Coordinators are Maribel Vigil, Aide Hinojosa, and Pablo De Leon. And then our Social Studies team. Social Studies Coordinators are Beatriz Cerda Gonzalez, Jose Guajardo, and Krista Arterbury. And that concludes our announcement of district positions.
Thank you, Joseph. Anyone comments from the board or Dr. Sorensen?
I just want to reframe also that the literacy, math, social studies, and science, that is a redesign where we had elementary, middle, high. That was a shift to content areas. And so want to note that may appear that we've just added all of these positions. Want to clarify for the community that those are not adds. That is a redesign of how academics is now laid out. And so those are coordinator positions that existed within the district, It is just now how they are categorized by content area rather than by grade level.
Thank you, Dr. Sorensen. Do we have any questions for Joseph? Joseph, congratulate the new leadership team.
Thank you.
I know
Congratulations to all.
Yes, and certainly let them know that we're very excited that they've joined a new role, and we look forward to working with them. Please invite them to the next meeting.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Joseph. Great presentation. Next agenda item is our consent agenda items. Do I have a motion?
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Do I have a second?
I second the motion.
All in favor,
Mr.
signify.
Alvarez, before we vote, I'd like to
Yes.
just make a quick comment. I'd like to abstain from two specific consent agenda items, 6.12 and 6.13. All else I will be submitting a vote for.
6.12 and 6.13?
Yes, under contracts.
Okay, that's noted. So again, making the motion with the exception of Dr. Carlos Margo making a motion not to abstain from 6.12, 6.13. Do I have a motion? You want to go ahead and make a motion because he's now abstaining?
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Do I have a second?
I second the motion.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Dr. Margo. Apologize for jumping the gun a little bit.
No problem.
Next agenda item is number 7. At this time, we'll be going into a closed section, under section Texas Government Code 551001, 551.071, 551.072, 551.074, 551.076, 551.129. The time is 6:37 p.m. We are back from closed session. It is 9 p.m. Next item on the agenda is item number 9. Consider board approval of delegate and alternate to the 2024 Texas Association of School Boards. Dr. Sorensen, you have anything to add to that?
I would recommend that the board name and approve the delegate and the alternate to TASB.
Great. Do I have a motion?
I move to approve item 9.1.
Do I have a second?
I second the motion.
All of those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Item number 9.2 has been postponed for a later date. 9.3 will be consider action regarding level 3 DGBA grievance filed by Roberto Sanchez. Do I have a motion?
I move that the board uphold the level 2 decision of the administration and deny the grievance.
Do I have a second?
I second the motion.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Next item, 9.4, action regarding recommendation of non-renewal of Everardo Chapa. Do I have a motion?
I move that we adopt the decision and recommendation of the designee and that we uphold the non-renewal of Mr. Chapa's term contract and employment with the district.
Do I have a second?
I second the motion.
All of those signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next item is number 10. It's the agenda for the next couple of months. August 12, 2024, first day of school. August 14, 2024, regular board meeting. August 28, 2024, regular board meeting. September 2nd, 2024 is a holiday. Okay, school board. Next item on the agenda would be agenda item number 11, and this is for school board members and superintendent remarks. Dr. Sorensen?
I just am super excited to kick off this year, get it started. Our teachers are coming back on Monday, so we are so excited to welcome back our teachers and our staff and get school year 24-25 started. Get it started on a great foot. This is our 100th year, so let's do it right. And parents, please come out and see us next week at all of our back to school events. And please remember, first day of school is August 12th. So students, just remember, we're waiting for you.
Anyone have any comments or questions for anyone? I have one that I'll make. Let's remember the calendar and the dates that Ms. Claudia Gomez Perez shared with us. Hopefully some of us can make some of those dates next week so that we can encourage and support our schools and of course our students. So I encourage you all to do that. Any other comments? I have one more. Earlier today, obviously, as I mentioned, I attended Dr. Sorensen's leadership group this morning with the principals and congratulated the new principals that are joining our district. How exciting it must be for them to be there. And then how exciting it must be for all of you who are going to be taking up this new endeavor, working in La Jolla. How proud you are. I mean, there was nothing more prouder when you walked into a room to see everybody wearing red, black. I think I need to get more red and black, that's for sure. But it looked really cool when you see a group of people so professional. And you too, you need to get some more red and black. You stood out. You and I both stood out. But I'm so proud of you, and I'm so proud of the work that we have ahead of us. We have great leadership. We have a great team. Mari and of course, Dr. Sorensen's assistant. You guys do an amazing job, and we're so grateful to you for all you do, for not only the students and to taking care of Dr. Sorensen, but for the board. We're very encouraged by you all. Earlier today, I was at an opening for a library that is opening up in Sullivan City, and it's really cool how we partnered with not only a local municipality, but state government, federal governments were there to provide books for those that are underserved, and a community that in a library that has internet connectivity, probably the only internet in a local community like that. How cool it was for us to support such an endeavor. So congratulations to all of you. But it was really interesting because as I was leaving there today, some young lady, and this is to those that have been here prior to us being here, there was a young lady, Mr. Munoz, who came up to me, 18 years old, and she said, I just wanted to introduce myself to you because I'm really excited about what's going on in La Jolla. And I said, well, I appreciate that. I said, what's your name? And so she tells me, she goes, but what I wanted to share with you is thanks to La Jolla ISD, I was able to receive my certifications in cosmetology. Now, how cool is that, right? So I'm thinking, okay, well, you know what? I need to go do my nails. You probably saw how bad they look. But what was really cool is she opened up her own cosmetology salon here off of Sherry Road. And unfortunately, I have her card here, but she doesn't have her name on it. But she gave me a card, and I just thought that was so cool that this young girl thanked La Jolla ISD, the administration, the teachers, and the support she got. And so I just wanted to tell you that we do make a difference. And it's really exciting to be a part of that. And so to all of you, we look forward to a great 2024-2025 school year. There's a lot of great things that are going to be happening in the next couple of years because of you all, and we are just glad here as a board to be a small part of that. So I want to thank you all. For those who are new to the school district, I'm so proud of you all, and it's so cool to see all of you in the audience. And so we're hoping that the people of South Texas have made you feel welcome. I know they did to Marcy. And so if there's anything that we can ever do for you, certainly you got the numbers to all the school board members that are here. We're excited to be a part of the school district and of this community. So to all of you, have a good evening. We look forward to seeing you next month. That concludes our meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn this meeting at 9:07 p.m.
Do I have a second?
I second the motion.
Meeting is adjourned at 9:07 p.m.